Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in North America, the East Coast. We can also be heard on the internet on WMA, MP3 and AAC Plus formats at www.rri.ro Channel 1. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Flickr, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Tumblr and SoundCloud. We wish you good reception conditions.
Welcome to this broadcast on Radio Romania International. Radio Newsreel.
Hello, I'm Lucanora Simeon, your host today. As usual, the program starts with the news bulletin, which will be followed by a commentary on Romania's relations with the Republic of Moldova, an ex-Soviet Romanian-speaking country. And a report on a first in Romania, the publication by the National Fiscal Administration of a list with Romanians whose debts to the state budget exceed 1,500 lei. First, the news with Diana Buzeu. The headlines: Bulgaria and Romania might veto the EU free trade agreement with Canada because of the discriminatory treatment applied to the citizens of the two countries as regards the visa regime. A joint program marking the Day of the Romanians around the world will be developed in Bucharest between May the 28th and 29th. And Moscow and Minsk have agreed to drafting joint measures in response to the installation of elements of the U.S. anti-missile defense system in Europe. Bulgaria and Romania might veto the EU free trade agreement with Canada because of the discriminatory treatment applied to the citizens of the two countries as regards the visa regime, New Europe reports. The two countries have issued a common letter critical of the Canadian government, and they sent it to the EU trade ministers who joined in a meeting in Brussels last Friday. The letter, quoted by EU Observer, is written by the two countries' ambassadors to the EU. The document shows that it will be very difficult for both the Bulgarian and Romanian governments to find arguments in support of adopting the free trade agreement in their countries. A joint program marking the Day of the Romanians around the world will be developed between May the 28th and 29th by the Romanian Cultural Institute, the Bucharest-based Eudoxiu Hormozaki Institute, and the Romanian Foreign Ministry's Department of Policies for the Relation with the Romanians around the world. The events will bring together representatives of the Romanian communities living in Romania's neighborhood and in the Balkans, as well as prominent personalities of the Romanian diaspora. The result of a fruitful partnership between the Dimitrie Augustin National Village Museum, the Carol I Central University Library, and Agence Universitaire de la Francophonie, the program also includes a conference on the issue of national identity abroad and a fair of folk traditions specific to Romanian communities. Romanian traditional music recitals and folk dances will be performed by folk ensembles from Ukraine, the historical Maramureș region, Serbia, the Timok Valley, Bulgaria, the Republic of Moldova, and Romania. Since 2015, the Day of the Romanians around the world is celebrated on the last Sunday of May. The Chamber of Deputies on Monday debated a simple motion against the Agriculture Minister entitled Achim Irimescu, the biggest disaster in the Romanian agriculture after December 1989. The motion was tabled by 84 MPs, members of the Social Democratic Party, and of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats in Romania, ALDE. Signatories to the motion have pointed out the flawed payment to farmers, the blocked investment in the irrigation infrastructure, and the defective management in the Agriculture Ministry. A final vote on the aforementioned motion will be cast in a plenary session due on Tuesday, May the 17th. The community of Transylvanian Saxons and Swabians is a priceless source for consolidating ties with Germany and Europe, Romanian Prime Minister Dacian Cioloș said on Sunday at the annual meeting of Swabians of Banat, which took place in Ulm, Germany. Cioloș, who paid a two-day visit to Germany, has praised the bilateral relations, which he described as privileged, excellent relations with a long history. The Saxons came to southern Transylvania back in the 13th century, while the Swabians settled there in the 17th, 18th centuries. The community of ethnic Germans in this region stood at several hundred thousands between the two world wars, but it barely numbers several tens of thousands nowadays. Moscow and Minsk have agreed to drafting joint measures in response to the installation of elements of the U.S. anti-missile defense system in Europe. Belarusian Foreign Minister Vladimir Makeyev said fresh from the talks he had with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. According to Makeyev, Moscow and Minsk share concern about the U.S. anti-missile system in Europe. Recall that on Thursday, May the 12th, the Aegis Ashore U.S. anti-missile facility was inaugurated at the Deveselu base in Romania. And on May the 13th, a ceremony laying the foundation of a similar site was held in Retikovo, Poland. Foreign ministers of the EU, the US, and Libya's neighboring countries convened in Vienna to talk over the situation in the North African country of Libya, currently facing political divergences and jihadi threats. According to France Press, the meeting came at a crucial moment after ISIS jihadists had extended their influence to the western city of Sirte and the failure of the UN-backed National Unity Government to impose itself after 2 months in power. And that's the news.
You are listening to the newsreel on Radio Romania International. Romania reiterated its staunch support for the neighboring Republic of Moldova. Find out how in a report by Bogdan Matei, presented to you by Vlad Palcu.
Romania is interested in consolidating stability in the Republic of Moldova and in sustaining firmly and consistently its European aspirations. This was the main message issued by the delegate minister for the relation with Romanians abroad, Dan Stoinescu, during his visit to the neighboring state late last week. Pursuing reform, according to the Romanian official, is the most solid premise to reach these goals and the most adequate response to the expectations of Moldovan citizens. Chișinău has been a priority for Bucharest for over a quarter of a century. Starting August 27, 1991, after the failed neo-Bolshevik coup in Moscow, Moldova proclaimed its independence from the USSR. That same day, Romania recognized the state independence of its new neighbor, which was created when Stalin took over in 1940 Romanian territories through an ultimatum. Romania's support for Moldova's integrity, sovereignty, and European aspirations is predicated upon a common language, history, and European aspirations. Right after gaining independence, Moldova was faced with the pro-Russian breakaway rebellion in the Transnistria. For almost a decade, in the early 2000s, it was ruled by an abusive communist government, then by a coalition purportedly pro-Western, marred by corruption and incompetence. As a result, Chișinău missed a few trains to Europe. Experts point out, among other things, economic figures according to which Romania and Moldova had a comparable average GDP per capita at the moment communism fell. Right now, that figure is skewed 20-1 in favor of Bucharest. Bucharest is also a member of NATO and the European Union, while Chișinău has always been shifting between leaning towards Moscow and Brussels, left in the grey area between the two worlds. In 2014, as a new member of the Eastern Partnership, Moldova signed association and free trade agreements with the EU. Later on, however, nothing worked in the governing coalition. As a result now, the favorites in polls are the pro-Russian parties, the socialists and the populists in the coalition called Our Party, led by the mayor of the city of Bălți, Renato Usati. Which is why commentators called courageous the initiative announced by Minister Stoinescu